Hi guys, what's up? Felix Sean here, and I was just kind of thinking of a video to make, so I just decided to make this video talking about the pirate101 PvP community discussion. And so, just sort of want to talk about just different stuff I feel about pirate101 community, weaknesses, strengths, and whatnot, and I guess stuff like that. I mean, I don't really know where I'm going for in this discussion, but I guess we'll see. So to start off with, I've played pirate101 for a pretty long time now, and the game itself is easily my favorite game between any game I've ever played. It's just very enjoyable. And the PvP community itself, even though there are, of course, some, toxic players, trash-talking players, just all-around me players, compared to most games, I mean, every single game has people like that. Like, compared to League of Legends, for example, like 80% of people there are horrible people. They just trash talk like for random people like every game. pirate101, for example, is nothing like that at all. The community is definitely a lot better in comparison, but there are some people that really just kind of enjoy, I guess, sort of annoying other players. Like, some of them just enjoy sort of trash talking just for the ego thing. Some just sort of like to be mean. Some just like there's reasons behind all of it, I guess. I personally don't really understand the psychology behind it, but it's definitely interesting. I mean, I guess it's mostly just a way to vent anger from your life and whatnot. But this whole sort of idea started with just earlier today in a Skype call. There was some person that I didn't know their Skype name that was trash talking me badly, and I ended up finding out who it was, and he was a guy who, before I quit, I actually would have considered probably a good friend of mine in pirate101, Reckless Christopher. He is the Buccaneer. He's an extremely good player, one of the top players in 1v1. And we play against each other a lot, a pretty decent amount in Central and whatnot, and we're pretty good friends. I mean, there's like competitive. We were both competitive in PvP, so there was arguing, but I mean, I'd say we got along pretty well. But I realized that he was the one trash talking me badly, and when I found out it was him, we talked some, and it ended up turning into a really big argument, which unfortunately is not what I wanted. Like, when I returned to this game, one of the biggest reasons why I did not want to be like a really competitive PvP player is because I knew that soon, like, one thing I was dreading was someone back from when I was active that did not like being like trash talking at the time would come and find me and start doing so, and I'll get back into trauma, which I just did not want to get back into. I didn't know who it was, but I knew it would eventually happen, and unfortunately today was the first day in which it happened. And the argument in a, I guess, just pretty much all started, of course, with him talking to me on Skype, and then when we ended up meeting each other, he said that I was just started off with saying I was not very good at PvP, and then it just ended up being argument on like who's better and like who's had more success, and I don't really want to have this discussion talking about that, even though I honestly think that he is one of the best 1v1 players in the game. However, I have had more overall success just because I've been the 1v1s, we've played each other a lot in Central, in which I won against him in one tournament and once in a ladder match, and I'm pretty sure that's the only times we played each other in Central. I'm gonna try look at his tournament history here, but I never knew it would be so hard to try and find Central PvP history, but I'm definitely working on that. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about in this discussion. All in all, it's gonna be pretty obvious that he's not gonna be friends with me anymore. He's become a kind of mean person to me for sure, but even though I'm bothered by it, he's definitely not the first person, he won't be the last. It's just one of the big things there. It's so exhausting when I play this game because of when stuff like this happens, just because it takes so much of the fun out of it, and it's really part of the reason why I had to take a break from this game is because the one thing that League of Legends has a big advantage of over Pirate 101 is even though there's more people toxic in League of Legends, you just have to do one match with them and then move on. Where you can add the good players and just keep talking to them. Where in Pirates 101, even you can of course do the same thing, but when you're in the main PvP community, you're still going to be running into those people over and over and over again, and you can't really avoid the trauma for very long. I tried, and unfortunately this is the first day where I've really had to suffer through some of the online cyberbullying pretty much. I mean, I'm not really going to say it was that bad, just because, I mean, people argue and trash talk all the time in Pirates 101. It's just, I've always found it ironic, that I am honestly, like, one of the least toxic, trash talking players in the PvP community, where I don't, like, curse, I don't really throw anything in people's faces, but I've always been one that's received a lot of trash talking, and I've been like, why the heck am I this so unlucky? But I've always kind of found it, of course, extremely painful, but also I try to laugh about it, just because I can't control it. I've never really understood why, but it's just always been interesting that it's hard for people to avoid that in PvP community sometimes, and you just sort of have to ignore, just put them on ignore, whether it would be my tips to anyone who's also receiving, like, same thing. But I'm not sure, like, when I first made this video, I didn't really know what I was going to be talking about, and I still don't really. I guess it's sort of just a video talking about how I feel about it personally, and, I don't know, just like a therapy session, I don't know. But, I doubt many people will be listening to this video anyways, but, it's just interesting that I don't understand why. Why do people who are good at this game, why do they bother being mean to other people who are good at this game? I mean, not only do we need to, like more people need to stick together and keep each other up to keep playing, to keep this game alive and active, but I just don't understand why. Like, why do people do this to other people? I've never really understood the reasoning behind it. But, I don't know, I mean, let's see, I'm trying to think of how I'm going to be able to keep talking in this video here without just repeating myself. So, anyone who's going to come here, most likely some people are going to come here and talk about the actual argument between me and Reckless Christopher, and most likely will try and once again repeat stuff about let's see, another friend of mine that was unfortunately supporting Christopher at the time, he was talking about how apparently Reckless Christopher, like, has proof or something that he had beat me in other 1v1s in Central, and I know it's been a long time since I played this game, but I really do not remember these matches, and what I understand is I really hate being trash talked. It really hurts my feelings. I've never been able to turn it off, just ignore people. That's my one weakness when it's come to online games, is that I get affected by it really easily, but I would not still flat out lie just for stats or anything like that, and I don't really think he would either. Like, he knows how good he is, and so do I, and I really think he knows how good I am as well. But I don't know how all this stuff works, like how people well, this is, I guess, another thing I should add in here, is another part of it that's also very interesting is this is sort of like a high school community, I'd say, where people will team up for one person, and sort of turn into like a group argument, or maybe just one group against one person, which has happened several times before, unfortunately, that I remember. And once again, like, it is a group of people that a lot of them are actually people that I got along with very well for a pretty long time, that are all teaming up to go against me in this example, where I've never done anything to them. Like, once again, I do not understand the psychology behind it. And even when they're talking about, like, of course, the one guy I was talking about, he makes very good points that the results, recorded results, and that are make up for, like, the theories or whatever if he was a better player, and that's what I completely agree with. And there's absolutely a good possibility, I guess, that he has beat me in other matches before that I just don't remember. And Frondo, he could be a better 1-1 player. He might have won more matches. He might even be a better player than me. I mean, I personally don't believe it, and I don't really think the results show that either, but even if he is a better player than me, it does not matter, really. If you're a toxic player, or if you're a mean player that's going to be mean to other players, like, that it doesn't really matter anymore how good you are, in my opinion. Like, and stuff like this has happened. It once again just reminds me why I had to take a break from this game, and why it's sometimes so exhausting to be a part of this game. It's because of things like this, and because I have my channel, and because I still enjoy the game so much, it's gonna be harder for people like that to make me actually quit this game again for a period of time. But it's just so exhausting that they take the fun away from me for the game, and it's just so tiresome. Like, anyways, I think I've sort of talked about all I've needed to in this video, sort of just, I guess, a crybaby video for myself, I guess. But I did actually try and talk a lot about the PvP community, like, sort of what goes on, and how I really wish I could improve past this point. But I don't really expect it to, just because it's how games like this work, kind of. Like, you know, it's a way of venting, and it's also a way of just competitive people to really show who's a better player, but it's just gone corrupted into something that's just people bullying each other online, like, back and forth, and it just tires me out after a period of time. I just hope many more days like this don't happen too much to me, along with, I just hope that this problem in itself goes away. But if anyone, I guess, that goes through something like this, once again, what I would recommend is just, of course, ignoring people. That's, you know, very simple button, and just, I mean, to be honest, I can't really give a whole bunch of recommendations because I personally am horrible at handling stuff like this. But just try to ignore them and just realize that it's not real life. And really, I personally almost feel more sorry for them than I do for myself, thinking that they need to try to talk about people. I'm not necessarily talking about, like, the people that in today are people like that, because I think this one in particular was just more of a random type of thing. But I don't know, where have I even gone in this? I don't even know where I am anymore in this discussion. Anyways, I think I might as well go and finish up here. I've sort of talked about what I needed to, I guess, and just kind of felt like I really needed to talk about this on the channel. And it's also explaining why I sort of took a break in the first place, for anyone, I guess, who was wondering about that. But once again, do you want to, you know, repeat that it's going to take a whole lot more than just one day of something like this to get me back tempted to stop playing this game again. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely going to be staying on this game. I'm definitely going to be focusing on my YouTube channel, and I'm just going to have to work on sort of avoiding the really competitive group of players like that, and just kind of do my own thing. It goes against my instincts because I enjoyed, like, I used to enjoy, you know, the group, and just playing against each other very often, just, you know, always trying to improve with them. But I just don't want to go through that anymore, like the trauma of it. So I guess I will go and wrap up this video. This is going way too long. So, just a little discussion, I guess, about the community in itself. And yeah, I guess that's the rest of this discussion. I will have another video most likely coming out soon that will be an actual PvP video.